Hey guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com, and I'm doing another quick weekly recap of all major MMO news and announcements of the week ending February 24th, 2020. This episode number 233 of the recap, and the first of news this week comes from NCSoft regarding their action MMORPG Blade and Soul, which launched the Shroud of the Assassin update this last week, which introduces the Lin/Assassin combo and the Assassin class's third specialization, Way of the Phantom. And besides just this update though, Blade and Soul also outlined their 2020 roadmap in their producer letter, which shows some big updates launching in March, April, May, and June. Expect a new heroic dungeon and a Hung Moon level cap increase in March, the Rise of the Silver Steel story part 2 in April, the Silver Steel part 2 raid in May, an Act 11 story content, and a new heroic dungeon in June. There's a lot to look forward to in Blade and Soul, and I still think this one is well worth trying if you've never played it. It's one of the only real action MMORPGs out there, along with Black Desert Online and Terra. Speaking about Terra, the Terra mobile spin-off Tera Hero launched in South Korea next month is an MMORPG with 18 playable characters, with all characters unlockable in-game without any gachas or loot box mechanics. It launched on May 5th in Korea, but nowhere on any kind of international release just yet. I'm pretty sure they're actually working on like 4 or 5 different mobile Terra games at the moment. I wonder if any of them will be any good. I mean, it's actually pretty surprising just how many Terra games are in development, how many have already launched, but so far nothing really spectacular it seems. Up next, also on the mobile front, Blessed Mobile in South Korea is launching the closed beta next month on March 20th. Interestingly, the developer here is a company called ThinkFun, and the publisher is Joy City, so Neoways themselves aren't directly involved. The game features 4 races and 5 classes. The game claims to be built from the ground up using assets from the PC version of Blessed Online, but promised to be, quote, all original and optimized for both old and new phones alike. And despite it just launching in South Korea for now, the game will launch globally in English after the Korean version is fully launched. They said once they get all the bugs out with the Korean version, they will be launching the game globally, but because it's Blessed, I'm not too excited for it. Next, we have a small update for Blue Protocol. The developers have revealed the business model behind the game, and many will be happy to learn the game will be free to play at launch with microtransactions and possible season passes for monetization. Closed beta in Japan is expected to begin soon, but there's still no word on any kind of international release. In fact, as I mentioned before, there are currently no plans to release Blue Protocol outside Japan yet, so the only way it launches in English is if it is a smash hit in Japan, in which case it'll have a chance to be launching elsewhere. I don't think there's any IP restrictions though, so anyone can actually play the Japanese version, but the fact that the game isn't Japanese will be a bit of a barrier for some. But to be honest, if you've played a lot of MMORPGs, you can generally figure out what's going on with the UI in the game without actually knowing Japanese. Up next, as previously announced, the Echoes of the Fallen Star update for Fantasy XIV officially launched this last week. I've been playing it quite a bit. It introduces a new story quest, a new set of raids, a new trial, and a new beast trap quest, ocean fishing, and a ton more. It's a big update for the game, and there's a lot of people coming back to it. While I can't speak for the new story content just yet, as I haven't done it, I'm definitely enjoying all the new raid content. So I'm going a bit more casual than I usually do. I've only finished 2 of the 4 new raids just so far, but I do plan on beating all of them in the next couple of weeks. Next is the buy-to-play MMORPG Kingdom of the Fire 2 introduces a new 8-man raid today on February 24th. The latest update of the game is titled Grave of Time and features the new in-game dungeon for level 30 players who have already beaten the Scourge Mountain raid. Also including the latest update is some balance changes, new mounts, and more. The game also ran a free-to-play campaign which ended today, but while Kingdom of the Fire 2 was free-to-play, the game's player base exploded from about 120 average players online according to Steam charts up to 1,800 players. But I'm curious how many of those players will stick around now that the game is no longer free to play and the free to play campaign has ended. I still think this one eventually goes free to play, only because the player base when it was buy to play was quite small. Up next, CCP Games announced this last week that Project Nova, the EVE Online spin-off, has officially been cancelled. Project Nova was a sci-fi multiplayer shooter, but it looks like it is no more. On the other hand, though, the developers that worked on Project Nova are now working on another shooter called Dust 514. So CCP Games hasn't had a lot of luck with working on games outside of their core EVE Online franchise, it seems. CCP has tried to do a lot of other things, but so far EVE Online is really their only big hit. Next up, the sci-fi survival MMO Population Zero is heading to Steam Early Access on May 5th, but has switched gears and is now launching as a buy-to-play game, whereas it was originally planned to be a free-to-play game. At launch, the game will be $29.99, but to be honest, going from free-to-play to buy-to-play may make sense financially, but I think it's going to turn a lot of players away. There's just too many survival games out there that are already buy-to-play with huge player bases, so paying for a relatively unknown game by an unknown studio is going to be a tough sell for a lot of people. I feel like this is the move you make if you aren't confident on your game, you want to make some money. If you're confident that your game is excellent, I say stick with free-to-play, but maybe they're not so confident. Up next, we have another indie MMORPG called Past Fate, which began its open alpha testing today, which is open to everyone. But I want to emphasize this is a super indie MMORPG. They raised a whopping $900 on Kickstarter, but like most Kickstarter titles, they actually released something with today's open alpha, which shows off some gameplay, though again, it's completely far away from being a viable product. In fact, you can only play one class, the warrior, and only do a handful of quests and basic gathering stuff in the game right now. And while this is obviously not even close to release or any kind of real content in the game, at least developers release something playable, which is more than many of the Kickstarter funded games out there. But if you look for a super indie game to try, maybe give Past Fate Alpha a try. And next up, Wild Terra 2 New Land started its first round of closed beta testing on February 20th, and it runs until March 1st, but is unfortunately only open to the high-end backers who purchased a pricey Founders Pack for the game. The cheapest of said Founders Packs that gives you access to the game costs $150, so it definitely ain't cheap to give the game a try. Now, Wild Terra 2 is a sequel to the first Wild Terra game, which is a sandbox PBMORPG, which is free to play on Steam, which is a fairly loyal, although a tiny player base. The first game will continue to run alongside Wild Terra 2, but the original game only averages about 42 players online at a given time, which is definitely isn't a lot. In fact, the first game was never too popular, but for some reason they are still working on a sequel, so I'm curious to see if the second game will do well. Now moving right along, we have yet another indie story to talk about. Indie developer Envision Studios delays the launch of their Minecraft MMORPG titled Hegemony by 2 weeks to optimize and fix the game's performance problems. Keep in mind, this is literally a Minecraft MMORPG/mod, so you'll actually need Minecraft installed to play it. And before you write it off, there's actually a surprisingly amount of good MMORPGs on Minecraft. Windcraft, for example, averages over 1,000 players online at a given time and is built entirely on Minecraft. So 1,000 players playing Windcraft is a Minecraft mod, and it's an MMORPG, has more players than most standalone MMORPGs out there. So don't write off any Minecraft mods or any mods for other games. So this could be pretty interesting. Now, the next and last news this week comes from Pearl Abyss regarding Black Desert Online, but not the PC version, but the console version. Starting on March 4th, the Xbox One and PS4 version of the game will be cross-play compatible, which is awesome because they'll boost the game's combined player base on a single server, or single version. And that the PC version will be cross-play compatible with the console versions anytime soon, because the PC version is still quite a bit ahead of the console versions for now. But it's awesome to see more and more games support cross-platform play, and hopefully we'll get it on the PC one day as well. Anyway guys, that is it for MMO News this week. I'll see you guys next time. Later guys.